Running just a minute late there. That comes from, I guess, not being very attentive. I don't know. Okay, hi, good morning, everyone. Guess what? It's me, Bob Doyle. You know, featured teacher from The Secret. Whoops, host of the Bob Doyle Show. Yes, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. So good morning, yes. Well, I say good morning every time because it's morning for me. I don't know if it's morning for you or not. I have no way of knowing that. Till you say, Bob, by the way, it's morning for me. So I'm one of the featured teachers in the mill. I was going to say film and book The Secret, and none of that made any sense. Movie. The Secret. It's a law of attraction film. Perhaps you've heard of it. It was around about 11 years ago. Hi, Natasha Lee. And Dawn is with us as well. Oh, I've got some, reminds me, I got some stuff to do over here. Yeah, so I was running a little, so here's the thing. I wanted to do this, a couple of days ago on Tuesdays like I'm supposed to? Well, I don't know. It was post-holiday. It just didn't, nothing clicked, you know? It wasn't like, oh yeah, it's Tuesday. None of that happened. And then yesterday I was going to do it, but you know what? Honestly, I got to tell you the truth. Dawn, I was trying not to call attention to that. Is this going to work? I'm not even sure. Oh. Hi. Well, that's not the one I clicked, but hi. That's not the one I went to do. This is what Dawn called me out on. Okay. Anyway, so yes, film, book, movie, The Secret, Law of Attraction, all that stuff 11 years ago. And we're still talking about it. Some of us are anyway. And so as we approach the end of the year, well, you know what happens. Everybody starts going, okay, no, seriously, next year. That's this. I know I said this year, but next year, for sure's. That's my year. So why does that happen? Why? Why does it always have to be next year? So I'm not the only one who comes on the interwebs and tells you everything that's wrong with resolutions. I just realized I stopped and finished setting up over here. It's morning. I'm only on my second cup of coffee. Anyway, I'm just giving some folks some time to get in here. Let's see. Announced them to totally unannounced. You're right, Natasha Lee. You got me. She said that I said this was totally unannounced, and in the announcing that it was unannounced, I was thus announcing it. Wow. So called out on that one. Okay, so what are we doing here today? We're going to answer your law of attraction questions, but one of the things that I really wanted to oops, I know it's going to, hold on. I know. Could I be any more unprofessional? There we go. Okay. I almost caught it in time, but I didn't. What I was saying was, can we start this all over? Dun 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 dun. Ow. High face. Oh, I was going to mention that the reason I didn't do it yesterday was that I wrenched my back carrying Christmas decorations down the stairs. And it's still a little whack, to be honest with you, but I can't not talk to you. I have to come on and say hello, and I have to talk. Look, it's in me. And if it doesn't come out, there's problems. Hi, Nori and Lily and Naomi. Wow, this must be a good time in the morning to pop on. So why don't I just stop yammering and get to some content. First of all, there are a couple of, Dawn was nice enough, Dawn right here, who also happens to be my assistant, was nice enough to post a post asking for questions, and there were a couple of law of attraction related questions for what I was supposed to do on Tuesday/Wednesday. So I'm going to address those, but I just want to, but I always start this out with a little bit of a thing to think about. And it's just basically this whole idea of resolutions, and I won't get into a full long thing because you know what, honestly, you could search YouTube for, what is it? I don't know, something about resolutions. I talk about resolutions, I think, somewhere. Could be wrong. For all I know, I could be wrong, and it's in my Wealth Beyond Reason program that I talk about it. But I'm going to talk about it here. Guys, most people set up resolutions And it's all about what they're not going to do anymore. It's all centered in changing something that's negative. And so when you resolve, when you set this, I'm not going to do this anymore, or I'm not going to do that anymore, or I'm going to avoid this, or basically in any way, my life isn't going to be like this anymore. If that's what your resolution is set up, that's why you're set up for failure, because and that's why it can, from a law of attraction energetic point of view, that's why it falls apart on you, because you're still in alignment with the thing you're trying to change, because that's where your focus is. So often, this whole resolution thing, if you would just instead create a vision that is compelling and strong and all of those things, and deal, just basic law of attraction stuff, you'd be more likely to move into that as your reality, as opposed to focusing on why you're resolving to change a behavior or something like that, because you're stuck in the problem. Does that make sense? Good. I hope that made sense to everybody. So now we can move on. Let me catch up with the comments. We got people from all over the place. Michael's on YouTube, hi. And Sharon's here. Colleen, Shalomit. Did I say that right? Shulamit. I'm saying it all wrong. And that's good. So let me just address a couple of the questions, and you can ask questions at any time. That's what we're here for. Oh, look at that. Vision, not resolutions. Dawn posted, is that me? Wow. See, that's why she's my assistant, and you can't have her. All right. One of the questions I had last time was from someone named Smith, and they asked me, basically, when I say the universe, what do I mean? And then they shared why they asked that and all that. And just to clarify, when I think of the universe, I'm talking about all that is. So when I say the universe this or the universe that or whatever, it's everything, and everything that makes up everything. It's, in other words, we are, which is something you got to understand. It's not us and the universe, right? Are we all clear on that? That we're all a part of this one thing, this one big ocean of energy? And that separateness is all an illusion created by our own interpretation as in this physical form of how we interpret energy and create it, turn it into senses where we feel and touch and taste and have this experience. But basically, we're all energy and it's all connected. So universe is all of it, and including the intelligence that makes it run and all the rules around it. You might say laws. And so when I talk about the law of attraction, what I'm saying is this is how I talk about how energy behaves, basically, how it comes, for we as human beings, which is the only in this conversation. See, the law of attraction just is. But as human beings, we need to kind of put meaning to it. We need to put words to it. We need to put structure to it so that we can do something with it if we're going to do something with it. So we're looking at it in terms of, okay, it is what it is. How can we use it to create the life we love, right? But we have to understand what it is and what it isn't, because so many times we jump on the, people watch The Secret and they've just felt like it was some magic wand that they could wave and that it would just work. But there's still rules in place. There's still laws in place. There's still reasons why atoms come together to form certain things. There's vibrations and frequencies and attraction and non-attraction. Resistance. Jeez, I could not come up with the word. Good morning, Kathy. Michael says, Secret, Abraham Hicks, and all the change of life. I love it. Sorry your comments run off the bottom, because you had so many wonderful things to say. Let's see. Michael has a question. I have an answer. Colleen, absolutely. Good morning. Okay. Sorry. So when I talk about the universe, I'm talking about everything, and people can call it this whole conversation of you can call it this, or you can call it that, or you can call it whatever you want. And it's true. Of course, you can, depending on your relationship to all that is. Whether you have a more spiritual, whether you have a religious, there's no wrong, right? It's just like what's your relationship to it. But regardless of all of it, no matter the context, whatever, universe, all of it. Okay? Just to make clear on that. Another question I got in the last one was basically about, it came down to how another person's behavior or reactions or responses are causing them problems. Like, the exact words weren't "How do I change this person?" but the communication was clear. I'm trying to be this, and this person is being like that, and it's bothering me. And what do I do about it? Right? Anybody relate to that one? I think so. Hi, Jennifer. And what just a basic law of attraction thing I really want you to grasp and embrace and learn to love is that this is not about changing somebody else. Again, everybody in your life, I mean, I talk about this so much, it's almost ridiculous. But every relationship you have in your life is there because for whatever reason you have been up to this point in vibrational alignment with and allowing of these people, these relationships in your life. When you change who you're going to be in the world, which is what this is about, because if you want anything, if you want your life, if you want your reality to change in a significant way, guess what? It's you who's going to have to initiate that change by who you are being. And when you change who you are being, your energy changes, your vibration changes, and the people who used to resonate with it may not anymore. And you will be very, very clear when you don't resonate with somebody else. And that's when all the negative stuff that you tolerated for years becomes even more of a and you have to decide. I'm going to be this. I'm clear on who I'm going to be. I can't make this person join me. I'm basically changing the rules of the whole game because I'm deciding I'm going to be somebody who is more empowering to me. And if that person is threatened by it, doesn't like it, wants you to stop, doesn't believe it, whatever, you have a choice to make. Are you going to stay in the relationship as that is and be in that and be okay with it? Like, some people can handle it. Some people are very, very clear. Nope, this is who I am, and you can be however you want, and it's not going to faze me. And that's ideal. So you can stay in that relationship. If everything great about it is great about it, except for that one thing, but you're strong enough and empowered enough and know who you are and what you're up to, that their opinions, their negativity, all of that doesn't make any difference to you, awesome, stay. Don't make a change. It's fine. But you got to just, you have to own, okay, I'm going to be fine with this, and stop complaining about it. And by the way, P.S., as an aside, probably the less you observe it, the less you complain about it, the less you keep looking at it, the smaller it will be as a thing in your life. Let's see. When we know why we attract something wrong in our life, how can we stop attracting that in our lives? By changing ourselves? How? With our attitude and thinking. Good question, Amy. But yes, it starts with a vision. It starts with a vision of who am I going to be that's different? Like, you get to change that. And by the way, that should be a fun, exciting thing. It's a bonus. It's a part of being the human that we get to actually change that. We are so malleable. We can wake up if we want to. We could wake up and be a completely different person. We could change belief systems. We could change habits. We can change everything about our day, how we respond, everything. And it doesn't mean that we're not being authentic. We get to change it. If it's more empowering for us to be something, but we don't. Because our ego goes, no, that's not who you are. You can't be that bold, vivacious person because you've been hiding from people your whole life. That's just not who you are. Right? Because that's our wiring. But that's all BS, man. We can change that. We can. But we need to know why. Why are we changing it? Why? What do we get? What's the benefit of giving up all this limiting stuff? And what's the benefit of embracing this new, big, bold way of being? You got to get clear on that. You got to know what it feels like, and you have to know who you're going to be in that scenario. This work isn't about just changing all your external circumstances in a hope that that will make you a happy person. When you create your vision, you got to see the big picture. What's the vision? Sure, you want the house, you want the place you're living, you want the relationship, but why? Why? And who are you in that? Who are you in that? You can't be the same meek person with the limiting beliefs and all the excuses to why things never work for you. You can't have both. So if that's you, if that's it's their fault, I can't get a break, if that's who you're being right now, you'll never get where you're going because that will never align. That type of thinking, the victim mentality or the poor me or the whatever, regardless of how much evidence you have, if you stick to that story, how how I ask you. Will you ever move into energetic alignment with prosperity and peace and love and all of those things? So you have to change who you're being, but to change it, you got to know, well, what am I changing to? Because the moment you start to change who you are, if you're not clear on that, your ego, which is there to protect your sense of identity, is going to go freaking nuts and go, no, 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 stop. You don't know what are you doing? Go, no, this is who you are. You're uncomfortable around people, and you've got excuses for everything. That's who you are. Don't you even start thinking about, right? But if you know if you've got the vision of who you're going to be and the circumstances and know why you must do this, instead of looking at all the crap you're trying to change, you actually create from scratch. Then, all that noise from your ego won't mean anything because you know exactly why you're doing this. Excuse me. And Jennifer says you have to put out your intention every day. And that's the thing, is that should be us. That should be our natural state. Because actually we are putting out our intention every moment of every day. That's all we're doing all the time, is telling the universe, this thing that we are, this is what is. This is what is. In every moment, we're saying this is what is. We're confirming this. We're confirming this. And if we've got old stories about, oh, this is this job I hate, that's going to be your experience. These are these people who get on my nerves, that's going to be your experience. It's this ongoing autopilot conversation you have that is going to keep going that way until you jump in and be intentional about changing it, which you can do. Which is what all of this whole conversation is about. Okay. I got messages all over the place. Thank you, Amy. Vision boards do help, Sharon says. I want this to be a one-click process of getting these comments on the screen. I'm submitting my request. Vision boards help, but here's the thing about vision boards, and a lot of people ask questions about vision boards. The vision board is just like any other tool in the law of attraction arsenal. It is there for one purpose, and that is to move you into the feeling of, I have this now, and it feels great. If you look at your vision board and go, oh, where is it? One day I'll never get it, then turn your vision board around until you're ready to look at it and enjoy it. I think is your name pronounced Terry? To change, we need to want first. And so want, want has become sort of this bad word in the law of attraction conversation because of the energy around it. That wanting is the noticing of what's not there. And so when you're wanting something, you're basically saying, I don't have this, I don't have this, I don't have this. However, it's that feeling of want, that feeling of lack, that then is really should inspire you to say, well, I want to fill that feeling with something else, and now you put the feeling on what you do, what the desire is, the having of the feeling that you think you're not having by wanting the thing you want. Okay, that really does make sense, but holy crap, that was a very complicated sentence. It's just like having a negative feeling isn't bad. You're supposed to. We're built to have them. Because it's a guidance. It's like, if you have a bad feeling about something, it's just a communication that says, oh, you're a little out of alignment. Let's make an adjustment. But that's not how we've learned to deal with it. When we have a bad feeling, we go, oh, let's dwell on it. Let's solve it. Let's fix it. And we just. And then we grow it into this huge, massive thing because then we get into energetic alignment to it. We start attracting, we move into alignment with things that fortify this where we're putting our attention. So the bad feeling comes up. What we should do is, all right, I've just learned about a limiting belief, for example. Like sometimes a bad feeling will come up because you have a limiting belief about something. You get a bill, you get a limiting belief. You've got a belief about I don't have enough money or I blah, 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 and you have this bad feeling. And that bad feeling can overtake you for days or weeks. But that bad feeling is basically just telling you, hey, I have a belief about this that's not serving me. And when you dive into learning the law of attraction, you can learn techniques that will help you to release that stuck energy around that is associated with that belief, so that you can look at a bill, and even if you don't have the money in the bank account right now, you don't have to start immediately thinking about all the terrible things that are going to happen. You really can be free of that, and it is in that new space of possibility that new things can happen. When you are completely convinced that there is a problem and that there is no solution or very limited solution, and you look at it that way, it doesn't matter how many solutions are dancing all around trying to come in, you will not see them or welcome them. Okay. Can't believe my coffee's still warm and I've only got just this little bit. So you can even... My Echo just woke up or something. We got an Echo for Christmas, an Amazon Echo. I never thought I'd wanted one. Now we have 3 of them. Okay? That's how awesome they are. I'm going to do a whole thing on the Bob Doyle show. It's crazy. Anyway, so Colleen says, if I can put this thing, this is a great mantra. Everything is always working out for me. Now here's the thing, the ego screams at that, right? Because the ego looks at all the crap that's happening. It's not working out for me. And then every time you insist on that, it becomes more and more true that everything is not working out for you. Look, lots of things happen and unfold in our lives. Circumstances unfold that we have learned to interpret as negative. And we don't even think for a moment, oh, maybe this needed to happen in order to open up the space for this new life that I'm actually trying to create and say I'm committed to happening. But sometimes to create huge change like that, there are breakdowns in certain other areas of our lives. Now, breakdown has a very negative connotation, and it seems to, well, it's a breakdown, so I'm going to have a breakdown, and I'm going to feel broken down. No, it doesn't have to be that way. But certain structures that are in place may have to unstructure themselves to make room for the new thing. How we interpret that breakdown is up to us. We can go, oh no, it's breaking down. Or we can go, hallelujah, it's breaking down. This is going away. It may be a little uncomfortable or unsettling as that happens, but as long as you know where you're going and why, that whole vision thing, you're good to go. Jennifer says, it's good to say I'm having a bad feeling about this. I'm feeling this way out loud. By recognizing it helps to let it go. Yeah, the whole idea that we got to fight off these negative emotions, like, oh no, I'm going to, if I have a negative thought, then I'm only going to attract negative things. One of the biggest problems people have in this law of attraction conversation is they don't acknowledge their negative thoughts, or they pretend they're not there, or they try to push them down and not deal with why are they even there in the first place. A lot of negative thoughts that we have are in our wiring. They're habituated, they're automatic, but they make no sense. They're based on limiting beliefs that we learned years and years and years ago. And if we take the time to expose those beliefs for what they are and where they came from, and their lack of validity in their life right now, then we can change everything. We have new choices. Oh, Amy says, do you think that one day the entire people on earth will understand they are creator of their own life? I have no idea. I sure would like to think that. We have been told that many, many times over the years. But the messengers, it doesn't bode well for them. Luckily, this generation of messengers gets through it a little bit easier. Hi, Paul. Paul joined forever ago. He could be gone by now. That's how far behind I am in this. You know, when I get started talking, I just have to go. And then I have to, now of course I catch up. You're welcome, Jennifer. All right, let's see. Everything's working out. Change. Vision board. Good point. Okay, awesome. So that's why I'm just saying that as we approach this whole resolution time of year, and God, you just have to be aware that I'm so hyper aware that so many people in the personal development space are coming out here and saying the same thing. You know, ladies and gentlemen, please don't make resolutions. They're setting you up for failure. I mean, I know I'm sounding like I'm mocking it. There was a time when I said it for the first time, like 15 years ago, and it felt like genius. But now it's almost like people say it so much it has no meaning to people. Yeah, whatever, I'm still going to resolve this. You know, so when I gave up drinking, for example, it'll be 2 years on January 2nd. Gave up alcohol in a day in a decision that I made in 45 minutes. It was not a resolution to quit alcohol. I did not sit there. I resolve for this year I will. It had nothing to do with that. It had 100% to do with who do I want to be this year? Who am I? What of this part of me that just clearly isn't serving me? Am I ready to let go of and be somebody else? What's the version of Bob Doyle that doesn't need wine every day and doesn't have alcohol in it? And I was able to create a picture of that through this process called the click, which is completely different than anything we're talking about right now, sort of. But I was able to create that person, the vision of that person, and so it became the resolution piece. It just doesn't even. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to say anything. I didn't have to be vigilant every day. I didn't have to go, no, I'm not, because it was just gone. Because that version of Bob Doyle, no, I realized there's no point in keeping that guy around. And I had after I did this exercise, I had a really clear vision of who the non-alcohol version of Bob is and how it's better in every single way, and how if I didn't let go of that, I would never be able to fully align with my vision. That's not a resolution. That's not some weird goofy promise that has anything to do with willpower or anything like that. This is my freaking life. Right? And you can't, I resolve to eat better so I can lose weight. Why? Who are you going to be when you lose that weight or when you're healthier? Why does that person need to exist? Why do you need to bring that person to the forefront? You don't want to be thinking about all the crap about right now because I don't want this and I don't want that and I don't want that. Nah. You have to create that more inspiring version of yourself if you're going to know why you're going to go through what you're going to go through. Why you're going to, if the ego ever says a word. But I will tell you this, for me, with the alcohol thing, it was never, ever a struggle. Not once did I go, oh, I sure would like that. I sure would like, because of the way I approached it. It wasn't about limiting myself of anything. It was about allowing myself a better, fuller experience of my own life and who I am. And so instead of these freaking resolutions, just check back in with your vision. And apparently Dawn left a link where I must have said this again somewhere else. Wouldn't surprise me. All right. Face says, it's easy to stop drinking. I did it 10 times. Ha, da, 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 da. Look at that. I even had a little rim shot, although it was way too quiet. There we go. All right. But now, yeah, but see, he's got me on the coffee thing. I sure haven't quit that. You know why? Because I don't want to. Even though as much as it's not alcohol, there are dehydration, there are negative impacts for coffee. And when I get to that point in my life, like I did 2 years ago on January 2nd, 2016, where I go, what is this? What am I doing? When I get to that, then the coffee will go away. But I sure need a damn good replacement. All right, let's see. Jennifer says, again, Jennifer's being really contributory today. I realized that taking it day by day, and I have realized taking it day by day, and setting my intention for that day, and being that day, and not worrying about that. Okay, you should just read it, because my words no worky with this sentence. There's a lot of day in there. I feel satisfied and at ease when I lay down at night. Let's just leave it at that. Sorry, Jennifer. I butchered your literary whatevers. All right. Sarah Jane is watching. Sarah and Sarah both came in at the same time. What? What? See? Don't tell me there's no law of attraction. Was anyone telling me that? Okay, good. All right. Thanks, Ed. Says, well, you'll see it in a minute. Anything in moderation can be good. I'm with you. I'm with you. All right, now does anybody before, now it's been a half an hour, and these normally go a half an hour. I just, before the end of the year, because I don't know if I'm going to get back on before the end of the year, I'm actually going to, we're getting our carpets cleaned today. Little inside info. So, and I'm going to not be around. So anyway, I don't know when I'm doing another one of these. So I just wanted to make sure that as you get into this whole new year, you're starting with the whole vision thing. By the way, I haven't even talked about it this time, but we have opened our group coaching program, which will start in March. The reason I'm not really talking about it too much, and I did last week, was because I had a firm date. We were going to start at the beginning of February, but I'm going to move it to March, so we have a little more time to talk about it and get people clear on what it's all about, because it's a nice big decision and it can change your freaking life. And I don't want to feel, I don't want to rush anybody into the decision. So what we do here is we do these live Law of Attraction Q&As. I originally said it was going to be through January 16th. It'll probably be now through February something, you know, that I'll do these things. And that gives us a chance to get to know one another a little bit better. And you can decide, does this guy know what he's talking about with the Law of Attraction or what, you know? Do I feel like if I worked with this guy on a one-to-one, well, in a group coaching environment, that I get anything from him? So that's what these are about. And by the way, if you're new to this, this is the first one of these you're seeing, there's a gazillion of them right here on this page in the video archives. So help yourself to finding them. There's lots of information, lots of Law of Attraction information out there to be found with my name on it. I'm glad you all got to show up, even though I didn't. Well, I did announce. I announced that I wasn't going to announce it. No, I announced that I didn't announce it, which clearly is nonsense. Okay, so in theory, next Tuesday, I don't know. I'm supposed to be here again Tuesday. You can always ask your questions in the comment section here, and I will try to bring them over into the next thing like I did this time. Remember, no freaking resolutions, okay? Vision, vision.